Hello everyone and welcome to my DCS Warbirds update for July 2019. Now, July the 24th marked a milestone for DCS Warbirds, and that is the 1-year anniversary of the original reporting of the Spitfire sun glare bug, which now remains unattended and unfixed by the developer for a year. So it's happy birthday to the sun glare bug. For those of you who are not familiar with the bug, I'm going to show you right here. You can see the sun at the high 2 o'clock position, and then as I maneuver the Spitfire wing between the pilot and the sun, this large disk of sun glare remains visible through the wing. Now that's not the only section of this aircraft where the sun glare is visible. It also shows through the mirror casing on top of the canopy. Now you can see that white disc glaring through the mirror. And this also shows through the cockpit instruments. If you pull the nose up there, you can see the bright white disc showing through the cockpit. So this bug has been reported by the customers now for a year, and we did receive some indication a while back that EDE at least knew that it existed, but nothing has yet been done about it. We'll now take a brief run through of the 3 open beta updates which were released during July, and just isolating some of the World War II relevant content. On the 5th of July, which was the first of the 3 updates, the Focke-Wulf 190A8 was introduced for Steam customers, so they now have access to that module. On the 17th of July, there were a couple of general changes to the DCS engine itself, which are of particular interest, I guess, for World War II players. The first one being that AI Wingman will now not call out Tally Bandit every 10 seconds when you engage a large enemy formation. They've added some scripting there, or some coding changes just to tone that down a bit. And that will be particularly important for those players who are working their way through any of the single-player campaigns, where often the AI Wingman will spend 10 minutes repeating Tally Bandit, Tally Bandit. That can be very annoying and is apparently now fixed. At that time, the same open beta update, there was also a rework of some of the audio volume sliders, and the world slider now only affects external view sounds. So that is the sounds you hear when you are in external views. And I'm hoping this will help reduce some of the sound radar that can be achieved, or has been achieved previously, by sliding that up to max whilst sitting in the cockpit. There were some bug fixes to the newly released Focke-Wulf 190A8, which also came out with that same update. And finally, whilst it didn't make the actual patch notes for this open beta update, the bug that was introduced in June that affected the Spitfire gun sight and made it disappear has now been fixed, and a few players have been reporting that that bug is no longer visible or obvious in the Spitfire. And then right at the end of the month, on the 31st of July, there were a couple of further updates to the 109K4 and the Focke-Wulf D9 and the R8. In other World War II development news, on the 15th of July, the Eagle Dynamics team was apparently sent out to record the audio of a P-47, and the specific aircraft that they were recording was also shown in a screenshot. And there we have that P-47, which I understand was at the Duxford Air Show, and that is where the recording of the audio was expected to occur. That rounds off then the key updates for DCS World War II from July as I see them. Just one last note before we conclude the video, and that is a reminder that on the 31st of May, we were told that the plan was to release a major update for DCS World War II assets this summer. Now, depending on when you measure summer, whether you use calendar summer or meteorological summer, there are either 4 or 6 weeks left for Eagle Dynamics to meet their plan, which means either 2 to 4 updates. So, fingers crossed, let's hope in September or August we finally get this World War II assets update. That concludes the video for this month. Once again, it seems we have a rather quiet month for World War II DCS. Here's hoping that we see a bit more action in August and September.